hear
wow,
that?
now it's telling me it's being recorded.
Wow, that's fancy.
Yeah, what the
dude.
hell? That was new.
It's a
Yikes.
narc now. Zoom's narking you, bro. What the fuck?
By staying in this meeting, you consent to being recorded. Oh shit.
Oh, it's giving you guys messages too? Jeez. Zoom. Well, for anybody just joining the podcast, welcome. I don't know if the viewers are going to get to hear that, but Siri or some robotic voice just told us we're recording now. So here we are. As always, I'm Mike Napolitano. I got the shades on, so I'm going to introduce myself first. I got the ego going, and the flow is looking pretty good today. So, and then I'll pass it around to my co-host. My co-host down there, he's at the bottom of the screen today. His name is Mark Krasminski, just sipping on you babies out there. How you doing, Mark?
Oh, I'm good.
All right. Sounds good.
Bush, edible.
I'm good.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to introduce a very special guest and a very, very new player to the SHL scene that I actually don't know much about. He won the cup last year after backstopping the Penguins to a win, and I didn't even find out until after the fact that he actually has never legitimately played in net. This year, he will be skating out with the California Golden Seals, looking to go back-to-back Cup champs. And welcome to the Talking Pylons podcast, Luke Fava.
Thank you, boys. I'm very excited to be here. I appreciate you having me on. I was very surprised that you asked me, of all people, to be on here, but I'm glad to be here, So thank you.
Well, you are a defending Stanley Cup champion, so we got to get you on here and get your takes. But I actually know very little about you. You were one of the many guys that Vince Cipolla has helped add to the league. Tell me a little bit about where your love for hockey started and how did you meet Vince?
Yeah, Vince. Love that kid. He's a good guy, So yeah, I've known Vince forever since we were, almost in diapers practically, not quite, kindergarten, first grade around there back in the day. And yeah, I remember there's one night I was having him and one of our other friends over for a bonfire, and he was telling me about this hockey league. I was like, oh shit, man, I'm down. Sign me up. I was maybe buzzing a little bit, but I was, became a reality, and yeah, it came through and had a blast last year and looking forward to this year as well. Hockey, I think it's an intense sport. Definitely. It's probably one of the most entertaining sports to watch, I must say. With very fast pace. And so I've never been like a huge, insane hockey fan, but I've always enjoyed watching it, especially back in the day when the Blackhawks were doing really well. That was fun to watch. I guess not so much anymore, unfortunately, but yeah, so watch hockey, and every once in a while we get out and we'd play like roller hockey just with some friends out there, and I would try my best, and it was a lot of fun. So it's always fun to watch. Culture, I suppose, of hockey. So
yeah, I don't know what's going on with Mike right now. He looks like he's frozen.
No,
I'm
here.
But...
I'm here. Yeah, I know, connection a little unstable. Thanks, Wi-Fi. It's great.
All right.
I got frozen for like 30
I was like, oh man, I guess I'm filling time here. I gotta.
Yeah,
you guys are.
No, it was interesting to know when he told you like it was your first time playing goalie. It was your first time. I was like, oh shit, let's let him buzz. He's connected to the Walmart Wi-Fi down the street.
I guess so.
He's got the free.
Oh my god! I don't even know what the hell is going on.
When you're outside, that's where
it's terrible. Your audio.
I should move. Maybe I'll move to the patio. We'll see how that goes.
Everything is terrible right now. Go like 5 feet closer to the house.
Good strat.
It's like my 30th drink of the day.
You sipping on? What is it?
I'm not gonna lie.
Oh shit!
It's a Kentucky Mule. Whiskey and just ginger beer with some lime. But I've been drinking gin and lemonade. I had margarita today. I had a White Claw and honey beers. So I said, fuck it. Let's just roll with it. Fuck, now I gotta pee, so I'll be right back. Let him get the situation. I'll be right back.
Just when I come back now, huh? I don't even know what this episode is going to be looking like because I decided my Walmart Wi-Fi decided to flake out on me. That's cool. I wanted my batting cage in the background. Yeah. Haven't done one of those yet, and fine. One episode we had I was out on the rink over the winter, which was very cold, to sit out and do an entire episode. But I'm way closer to my house now. Now I'm on my patio. We've filmed from out here before, but I guess we'll do a little bit of a repeat. We lost Mark, but I know you guys were talking about some good stuff. It should have recorded, but just in case, I still got some good questions lined up for you. Awesome. And we'll get back into it. But yeah, so you were talking about how you met Vince. What year was it that he was talking about this hockey game at the Bonfire? Was that last year when he was trying to add you to the league?
Yeah, that would be like early like summer 2020, like, you know, like COVID stuff. And yeah, so we just had him and one of our friends over. So it was a couple months before the game. And yeah, we were talking about it and I was like, yeah, that sounds awesome. I'd love to be a part of that, you know. I don't know how good I'll be. And then, you know, I feel like maybe I hustled you a little bit into putting me in the goalie spot. I didn't mean to, you know, trick you into thinking I was, you know, some star attendee, but I still had a lot of fun. It was a good time. I'm glad.
No, that's fine. That's all. I mean, hey, you backstopped them to a win. So how much prior hockey had you played before the Cup final last year?
Last year I did a little bit of like you know, kind of like trying to practice, you know, get like the reflexes and kind of I watched a lot of videos, you know, on how to properly like stop and, you know, where to best place that you hold your hands or whatever in the stick and all that. But yeah, I mean, not a whole lot, unfortunately. I should have probably put in a little more actually getting down to it. But yeah, it's, you know, I just kind of tried whenever I could work on, you know, fundamentals, I suppose, or reflexes, all that sort of thing. But yeah, definitely not as much as I should have, but you know.
Hey, I mean, you did better than your counterpart. No offense to Joe and the other night he was standing on his head, but he didn't pull out the win. Part of it was the team in front of him. Part of it was the team in front of you. But hey, at the end of the day, the numbers are the numbers. So you had actually borrowed those pads from Charlie Borda and got some spare pads kind of mixed in there when Marco Gomez showed up to the game last year. Both of those guys are now your teammates on the Golden Seals. Talk about a little bit about what can you expect from each of them. I know you don't really know Marco too well, but he's taken the starting position over Borda. Borda's going to be skating out. So what can you say about both of those guys?
Oh man, Marco. Yeah, I do not know Marco very well. He was very nice. The one time I met him last year, he came in clutch with the extra padding and stuff. Really, he's a very nice guy. Like I said, I don't have much to say about him. He's just, yeah. And I hear, you know, he's got the skills, the chops to hold down his own. And I'm looking forward to seeing him out there and, you know, seeing what he can do. Maybe learn a few things, you know, hopefully, you know. And yeah, as far as Charlie goes, I've known Charlie for a little bit longer. Well, much longer since like high school. It's probably been like 5-6 years or so. And Charlie's great. I always love chatting with him whenever I can. And I know he's got a pretty successful hockey career in terms of like the collegiate level, I believe, and doing stuff like that. So I don't think I've seen many like highlights or anything, but I know that man knows hockey. So I have no doubt in my mind that between the two of them, you know, we might be looking at close to a shutout. I don't know with those two boys, man. I don't know.
Well, you're not far off. I mean, I don't know if it'll be a shutout, but if it's going to be a shutout, the man to do it is Marco Gomez. He's posted the only shutout in league history back in 2016, but he's a little bit removed from there. That was a 4-0 shutout. Captain Kuzminski down there.
There's only one thing I know what I'm going to do, which was I'm not going to put on last time we played, but like the first time I came out with you guys, Mike, I scored 3 goals because I just like shut the puck on net. I am going to. You might want to, if you want to cut this part out, you can, Mike. I am going to bring the best weed he's ever seen. I'm like, yo, I'll smoke you down real quick before the game. Get him high as shit. And then he's gonna get fucked up. And okay, first of all, Mike, is he gonna say no?
You're right. He's not going to say no. And I'm not going to cut this out either. This is the people getting to know Marco Gomez. We haven't had Marco Gomez on. We plan on getting him on very soon in the next coming weeks we only have another week before the game.
This man's a fucking fiend. It was hilarious. Sorry to interrupt, Mike. The fucking night we went out, I was like, he's like, yo, everyone's dry. Does anyone have someone that can stop? I'm like, dude, I might have like 1 or 2 people that I know. I'm like, I don't smoke personally, but like I know people that do. I'm like, I might have 1 or 2. He's like, oh, hit him. I'm like, I will. Let me tie my skates. 30 seconds later, he's like, bro, did you hit him up? I'm like, dude, I literally just put my left skate on. Can I put the right one on? I put the right one on. I stood up. He's like, yo, did you text me? I go, dude, let me grab my phone first. I'll text him in a minute. He's like, oh, dude, a minute later, what did he say? Like, dude, listen, I literally just cracked open a beer. Like, I'll text him right now. You can watch me. I go, dude, it's been 3 minutes. You have to be 8 times. Yeah. So I'm going to lace it with like LSD or something.
You better not. Jesus Christ. That part I might cut out. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness. But, yeah, no, Marco's a bit of a fiend.
He's in goal.
We love him for that. Actually, he thinks he plays better when he's high, and on most nights I would actually have to agree. But we'll see. Going back to Charlie, though, not a fiend. We've actually had him on the podcast, and like Luke was talking about, we got to hear some of Charlie's story and where he's played and his career. So I actually got to play the first time with Charlie. He came out to my ODR in the winter, and I knew he was a goalie, but I didn't know if he was going to be in net or what. My rink is big enough now that we can, do goalies, but he just came to shoot pucks around and stuff like that. And we had a great time, but we were just kind of taking it easy. And then the past couple of weeks, he's been coming to Dirksen and playing with us on like the weekends. And oh my God, can this kid play defense? And I am very excited. And he's got chemistry with a lot of teammates of ours. I don't know, Luke, if you know Jake Ratner, but Borda knows him. I think they play roller hockey together, or even possibly some ice over at Orbit and Elk Grove. No, not Elk Grove. Where's Hattrick Hockey? Why am I drawing a blank on that was where we were, Mark. Over there. I don't think that's technically Elk Grove. I'm drawing a blank on.
I thought it was Elk Grove.
I think it is.
Doesn't he live in Elk Grove?
Elk Grove Rec Center, or I forget. But no. Yeah, so it's a good place for hockey players, and that's how those two know each other. So I'm excited to see the chemistry. But yeah, I mean, coming into this game, I expect a lot. Oh, score updates. Montreal is actually beating Vegas. Holy cow!
Sorry, keep going.
That's fine. We're definitely going to get into NHL.
I'm gonna keep it updated. I'm checking every like 30 seconds.
That's fine. That's why I got this stuff on. That's for tomorrow night. But let's go back to you, Luke. Last year, you finished with a .389 save percentage, which sounds pretty bad, but you actually didn't get a whole lot of shots on you. My team, we couldn't find lanes and stuff like that. So, I mean, either the goal was a clear-cut goal on a breakaway and it was going in, or it was a bad dangle shot and we had no chance. But and you actually gave up the first goal of the game. But
I remember that.
You still went on to secure the cup. It was the first time in league history that the team that scored first did not go on to win the game. What changed with your team and maybe in that locker room chemistry in order to turn things around and then have the confidence to win that game?
Yeah, I mean, Mark and I were talking about this when we had some technical difficulties, but yeah, so literally they got there. I think the guys kind of knew I wasn't the most competent of goalies he ever had. So, but that didn't faze them one bit. They were there to play. They were ready to go. They were, supported me, supported them. They were saying first goal. it could have been really easy for them to just been like, oh my God, what is this guy doing? He doesn't know what the heck's going on or nothing. He's clueless. He's a schmuck, all that sort of stuff. But no, like every time something like that would happen, there'd be like 3 or 4 guys like rolling up back to me and they'd be like, hey man, don't worry about it. It's all good. Like we got the next one, we'll come back. It's all good. So yeah, like every time, there's a score or anything, like they never got me down. They always brought me up. And I think that was the kind of the vibe for the whole team. Everybody was kind of, was there to not only have fun, but to win. And they wanted to keep that mentality and not let it get distracted by, stupid errors on my part or whatever. So it's just the constant support that I think really helped out. And I think throughout the game, I think Mark was saying that I got a little better throughout. The first quarter was pretty rough, or first period was pretty rough. Second period was a little bit better, and then third period was, definitely better.
Locked them.
Good. Yeah, I wouldn't say good, but it was a lot better than where it started. So throughout the game, like I had the team in front of me, they were putting up points, making me feel more confident, more comfortable, less feeling like, oh my goodness, I gotta do everything, to stop this goal. Obviously I still, wanted to not let the puck go in the goal, but they definitely alleviated a lot of that pressure. And for like a newer player like me, I think that's exactly what I needed. And yeah, so got a big shout out to the team there. I was just watching pretty much. They put in the work, and I tried my best, and I had a lot of fun. And hey, it ended up successful.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I know you just kind of walked through it, but tell me a little bit more about your experience last year, and what did you expect before the game, and then when you got there, how did your expectations change? And you kind of finally got to see what all it was, rather than just Vince telling you some stories.
Yeah, no, I was honestly like blown away by the whole setup, man. It was a real production there. You had the stage out, you had DJ speakers, you had cameras all over. Like I was like, holy shit, this is like a whole ass thing. Wow. And then like as soon as I saw that, I got even more excited. There's people coming out, like spectators, fans and stuff, and like the whole the PA system and the whole walk up and introducing the teams and everything. Like it was a rush, man. I know it may sound dumb, but like I said, I had a blast. It was an absolute blast playing, and I really want to come back. Probably not, as the goalie, because they'd probably have somebody better than me. But I'd still be out there, even if I couldn't play. Like I'd love to go out and watch, but fortunately, somebody decided that they could take a chance on me. So
now all the kudos to Vince, especially because when I was looking for more players to add to the league, he was a huge help. And he was like, I got this guy, Luke. And he originally introduced me. He's like, oh yeah, Luke can play in net. And I'm just like, all right. I figured, that means he's a goalie, but we're excited to get to see out there this year skating out. But you did, like you said, build your goalie skills throughout that game, and even towards the end of the game, there's a GoPro clip of you just dancing in the net.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of talk me through like when you knew within you that you had turned things around and had the confidence to win that game, and obviously just started dancing. Was there even any music playing?
Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm always, I'm an entertainer at heart.
The key was, what was the score at that point?
Yeah, when he started dancing, that's probably true.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, like, yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know if there's like a specific moment, but it's just like, yeah, just like the whole energy of the event, the team I had, the energy they had, and we all had together, and even like between both teams playing, because it's like a competitive thing. And everybody's out there to have fun, and everybody's out there to win too. So it's like, it's just like a perfect energy. And yeah, like, like you said, I did develop a little bit throughout the game, and, it just got to the point where like, I wasn't like shaking in my boots, like nervous every time the puck was going to come down at me and I'd have to do something. I was like really kind of trying to like soak it in and, enjoy the moment, be out there, trying to get a little dancey dance, So, yeah, I think it was just, I would honestly probably contribute it to like what we talked about earlier. The team's always staying up. They're always supportive. They never got down on me or, whatever. They're always like, he's, if there's a goal, they'd be like, all right, don't worry about it. We got it. We'll cover you. We're all good. Yeah. We'll come back.
I think that was one thing I made as a captain. I think when I brought my team in, one thing I told him, I was like, listen, guy in goal, it's his first time in goal. Every time he lets up a goal or something happens, just go up to him, be like, don't fucking worry about it. Just let's have a good time. Let's chill. You're fine. I remember there was one when I was playing defense, but I came back on D, and I was like, listen, just lay your body out for the man. There was one when he didn't know where the puck was, and I saw the puck, and all I did was I just laid down on the puck. I just fell. I was like, I don't care if I was like Doug Glass.
Admitting to committing penalties over here.
I fell, and the puck had to be under me.
Oh man!
And I was like, no one's. I mean, I'll take a fucking hit from his stick. I go, he doesn't. Like Luke didn't know where it was. I'm like, fuck it. I told my guys, just if they're in front of the net, just hit someone. I go, but my thing was like, I told my players, like, listen, it's first time in goal, so no one get mad because he has more balls than any of us to get in goal. So every time you skate past him, you tell him you're there for him. You got him. You got his back, and you always hype him up because the first period he was getting warmed up, and the second and third is when he really started to get it because we kept telling him we kept talking to him because a lot of guys don't talk to their goalies in games like this. I was like, yo, keep talking to him, keep hyping him up. If he lets up 1, 2, 3 goals, who cares? Let's just score 5, 6 goals. Mm-hmm. And that was our game plan. Let's keep it on our end so he gets confident that we're up 5-0. And he was making, we're up 5 goals, and it's like he doesn't care if he lets in 3 or 4 because we're still up. So
he's dancing in the background.
Yeah, he's a lot more chill. When he was like, Luke, when you're a lot more, we have a lead, you're making more and more saves versus if it's a 1-goal game or 0-0, you're really trying. Yeah. You're a lot better when you just didn't care.
I just kind of went with it. Yeah, I wasn't like focused on every little thing. I was just kind of, let's go.
Were you able to see the post game hype video? Did you watch that from last year on YouTube?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because that had all your highlights in it. So yeah,
I've watched like all the hype videos. Yeah, the ones that we made recently.
I definitely got you dancing. You know what I should have put? So there's one dropping this Saturday. I'm gonna give more news on it for everybody. But I all 3 hype videos. I didn't throw your clip of you dancing in there. I used some like throwback songs because this year's theme is retro. So it didn't really fit the mood of each piece, but definitely got to get that clip, bring that clip back. Definitely. That's an all timer. But the fans this year will be excited to get to see you skate out. When did you start skating at all? And then, what would you say is your strengths when you skate out? Oh my God, do nothing.
Let's score. Yeah. When did I start? I guess I remember like the first time I ever like played like roller hockey would probably be like around like 6th grade. And I haven't been very consistent with it, as you may, be able to tell. But yeah, like we had a group of friends that were big into it. And, like Vince is one of those guys. Danny DiMaggio, he's always out there too. He's a big hockey guy. And like, yeah, whenever like they'd be like, hey, we're going to go play some roller hockey. And I'm like, well, if I'm free, I'll be there. Why not? It's a good time. Hang out, people, play some hockey, So, yeah, I think, like I said, it hasn't been very consistent, but maybe, once or twice a year, I suppose. I've been skating out more recently. I haven't been able to catch you guys out at Dirksen because I work, of course, Friday and Saturday, except next, my schedule's switching. So I'll be out there on Saturday. I'm looking forward to that for sure with all the boys. But yeah,
I gotta still send out the messages this week. I don't think we're playing Friday night because we're gonna be. Well, I'll tease it right now. We're gonna be maybe doing a live podcast from Rosie O'Reilly. So that should be fun. I should be able to drop your episode tomorrow. So everybody watching, it's probably Thursday. So, but yeah, we'll look forward to getting to see you out there Saturday, and then of course the next weekend for the big game and even the skills competition. Will you make the skills competition the Friday night?
That I don't know, because I'm supposed to work. I work like 7 to 7. So
I gotcha.
I'd probably be pushing it, and I like today I got held over, almost 2 freaking hours, and so it's kind of hard to predict exactly what happens, but I would like to, because I know last year it got rained out. Am I correct? Was that
the skills competition did? Yeah. Unfortunately, it was like torrential downpour, and I've been looking at the weather for this year. I mean, it's still very early. But the weather has jumped from it being 60 degrees and no rain to 90 degrees to then like 85 degrees and like 50% precipitation, 33% chance of thunderstorms. So, I mean, we're still kind of too far out to tell. And that's the Saturday. It looks like the Friday is going to be fairly clear, but it's just, I want to get the Saturday in. That's all I care about. If the skills competition gets, rained out, hey, it's whatever. We tried, but hopefully we're praying, knocking on wood for some good weather this year.
Clear skies.
Yeah. So, but so we're very excited to have you on the Seals. Mark Krasminski's team's kind of fallen apart, not to throw any shade on the New York Americans, but I'm really hoping not to have to trade you. I've been talking with our captain, Mike Cross, who is out. We'll get that. Mm-hmm. We'll get to some of his news in the SHL news. He'll be coaching from the bench though this year. And then as far as players we can trade in order to keep things even, unfortunately your name would be first on the chopping block, but I'm hoping to really not do that. I'm going to talk to Krasminski down here as well and see what can happen. So we're definitely excited to have you on the Seals, that bring that defending champion mentality, and the fans will get to see you skate out. Who would you say, if you had to compare yourself, what kind of style of player are you when you play out? Because nobody's been able to see you yet.
Oh man, just kind of off the dome here, I'd probably say probably Wayne Gretzky. That guy.
Oh yeah. That's...
Mario, Super Mario.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I like that question, but honestly, I would just say probably I don't think I could name anybody in particular, but probably like freshman high school, just that's kind of.
And so like the small guy out there, not a big physical guy though.
Yeah, no, I don't know, because I mean honestly, it has been a while since I've played roller. So most of the stuff that I work on just by myself is just kind of trying to get better control and better moving around, maneuvering, stuff like that. And so unfortunately I don't think I could answer that. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. What are you looking forward to most with the game and all the extracurricular activities this year?
I gotta say, just being out there again, no matter what team I'm on or how much game time I see, it's not about that. I'm just excited that it was such a cool event. I can't stop telling you that, man. I was blown away, like I said, about how it was all put together and how it was a whole production essentially. And so I'm just excited to be out there and be a part of it, and get to know some of these guys. I haven't talked to or seen Mark in a year, and just kind of getting to know that group of guys better, and hopefully become more of a regular in the local hockey circuit you guys got going on and stuff, and trying to get out there more. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Will we see you gas and beers at the after party this year then?
Oh, I'd love to make an appearance. Yeah. Um,
All right.
I do work the next day, so we'll see. But
All right.
I'll gas
Fair
at
point.
least one. All right. I'll
All
gas
right.
at least one. I can tell you that.
Especially out of the cup when we win. That's for sure. Yeah, sure. Drinking out of the cup. Did you get your time with the cup last year? Like on the rink afterwards?
Yeah, we did that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I wasn't paying attention. I was sulking because I lost. I was paying for a firework ticket from the village, but that's about it. So,
oh man, dude, I remember that. That was.
I told those police officers that we're going to be doing it again this year, so I expect them to roll up. I'm going to give them a Chris Benjamin, and we're going to be on our way.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we're getting close. For all the fans out there, June 25th, All-Star Skills Competition. You get to see everybody show off their individual talents and skills. And it's at 8 p.m. Central Time, probably go to about 9. And the big kahuna, Saturday, June 26th at 8 p.m. starts warm-ups for the 2021 SHL, Schaumburg Hockey League Stanley Cup Final between Luke and I are on the California Golden Seals versus Mark Krasminski's New York Americans. It's the 10th anniversary. We're doing a throwback theme. Everything's vintage. Everything's, retro. I know Levesque hates that word, but he's not here right now. So, but here we go. So look forward to seeing you in about a week, buddy. Thanks for jumping on the podcast with us.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you again for having me. I'm super excited. I'll catch you boys out there on this Saturday. If we're running it, I'll be there.
Absolutely.
And, yeah, again, I feel like I was more obscure guest. So
that's fine.
It's an honor. It's an honor to be here. So yeah, thank you for your time, Mark and Mike. Always a pleasure. And yeah.
Anytime we'll to have a Stanley Cup champion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll get you back on when you're a back-to-back Stanley Cup champ after this year.
All right. I will be here. I promise. Yep.
Sounds good, buddy. Well, go enjoy work. I know you got work coming up in about an hour, I think you said. So
I run to the other job. So
yeah. So good luck. Don't work too hard, and hope you're ready for the game. We'll see you then.
Appreciate it, guys. I'll take it easy.
See you, buddy. Thanks a lot. All right. Well, that was an awesome interview. Thanks again to Luke. Before we continue, I'm just going to go grab a light. Like I said, I had it all set up when I was by the batting cage, and now I'm over here because my Wi-Fi is being goofy. So let me grab that light. I don't know why I brought the extension cord. Oh, the things we do for this podcast,
I hear you.
It's probably going to be way too bright in my face.
Do what I do because I have a light and this is in my face. I really just put it to the left of my face and it kind of works. And if I do this too, better.
How's it looking? Oh, I got shadow from the computer. That's okay. Nothing I can really do about that. It looks pretty good. I hope I don't get too many bugs, though. Damn, do I look good? Are we catching the flow here? I don't know. Ooh. All right. Anyways, back to the actual whatchamacallit. So I just want to let everybody know that Talking Pylons is brought to you by No Name Hockey. Are you tired of playing with, the same stick as the duster on the bench next to you? Well, now there's an easy and affordable way to customize your gear and make it yourself. Make yourself stand out without sacrificing quality or technology in your sticks. In fact, No Name Hockey sticks are just as advanced as the other top-of-the-line sticks and at a fraction of the cost. They have all the same curves, all the same flexes, as well as customizable grips and colors. And the pinnacle of the No Name Hockey customization power is that they give you the option to make it yours by printing your name and number on the stick. I am an official No Name Hockey ambassador, and I'm always using my newest white and black taper Cane Curve 67 Flex with the traditional grip and sandpaper finish blade. I can't speak today, but I have to tell everybody my new stick came in, and you want to see it? I'll be using it on June 26th out there for the game. It's a gold No Name stick for the 10th anniversary. It says SHL 10th anniversary on the side. It has all my same specs, and I can't wait to use it. We're going to do some big things with it. Well, I'm going to do some big things with it, and then we'll get to that later. But the white one that I use currently is my third stick from No Name Hockey, and they just keep getting better with each new stick. But don't just take my word for it. Get to nonamehockey.co and get your new twig today. You can also follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram with the @NoNameHockey as well. No Name Hockey. Respect all, fear no one, and make a name. We have a lot to
wait, hold on. Your face is absolutely Casper the Friendly Ghost white as shit.
It? Oh my God, you're right. It is. I had something in front.
I didn't want to interrupt. You're going with it. I don't want to fuck up the.
That's
but
fine.
Try to put it just above, because mine, if I put it on my face.
That's
that's good.
Better.
Oh, you're good.
That's better. Okay, thank God. All right. Hopefully this camera doesn't focus and unfocus, because then I'll be Casper again. I promise I'm not that white, but we have missed a lot, and it's good to be back. We took a hiatus. If you were looking for NHL news, this is definitely not the place to be. We never said that we were an NHL podcast. We do cover the NHL, but if you're here for NHL news and you're mad that we missed a couple weeks, if you're mad that we missed a couple weeks, dig a hole and get in it. So
open up an app or go to Twitter and they'll tell you what the fuck is happening.
Yeah, honestly, why do you come to us for all this news? I mean, that's
that
ridiculous.
Says a lot about you.
Yeah, Jesus. But I do have to update. Mark and I talked last podcast about, we had a little preseason prediction thing going on. I was under the impression that all the standings were finalized. Actually, the night after we recorded, Vegas and the Avalanche switched, because I believe one team won and one team maybe only won in overtime. I don't remember. The end of the season feels like a decade ago. However, that changed our point totals. I won't dig into it too much. Mark and I did about the same in the North. I'm pretty sure we had everything the same in the North.
Yeah, we were pretty much even throughout the whole thing.
I think I did a little bit better in the Central, just because I had Tampa versus Florida, and I had the Battle of Florida going on.
No, I think Central, because I had Carolina number 1.
Well, you had that, but you did way better than me in the East, so I knew it kind of evened out there. In the West, originally you had done better than me, but because of that flip,
what the fuck
thanks a lot, Colorado.
What the fuck was that?
Right. So Colorado walked away with the President's Trophy, and Mark and I kid you not, I can even show you people the numbers. I don't really want to get into it now. There I go, being Casper the Friendly Ghost again. Mark and I, our totals tied. We tied. I think
it was even.
It was pretty much even. It was so weird.
I think it was even. Or you were up by 1, I think, after, because I know at the beginning I was up, and then the whole Vegas thing flipped. So I think either it was even or you were up, 1 or 2 points.
Jeez, that's much better. Okay. Yeah, no, Vegas. we were even. We tied. It was ridiculous. The fact that we tied, that's really good, though. That means we both pretty much know our hockey. Maybe in different areas. Maybe we were better in different divisions than each other, but
if we came together, we would have been perfect.
Oh yeah, honestly, I mean that's how you know we're winners. But before we even jump into any playoffs, we're going to cover a lot of playoffs this week, because we've got a big game coming up. So we haven't really actually done a whole lot of podcasting, as you guys could tell. And we're going to jump back into Buffalo. I know we love to rag on Buffalo, but is Eichel leaving Buffalo?
So we talked about, I totally forgot this the other day. We talked about the big up and coming free agents. And a lot of those guys on there, we said, is a big Buffalo destination. Sorry.
Right. That's okay. I can't speak tonight either.
Destination. And, for me, it's, if you're Eichel, you want to get out of there. And if you're Buffalo, I'm thinking, okay, we have Eichel. We have trade bait to get some good players to really start building our franchise, because right now they don't need a player like Eichel. They don't have a team to build around him. So, in my opinion, it's like you want to hold on to Eichel with everything you have because that's the guy you want to build around. But you have nothing else. So, my opinion, if you start trading Eichel, get rid of him, you start bringing some players, and listen, you're going to have a lot of money coming into the next couple of years. And you're going to have – you're good. And you're going to have a lot of capital, a lot of trade picks, a lot of draft picks, sorry. And I think trading Eichel might be the best move. Honestly, I it's hard to say. I wouldn't do it if I was Buffalo. I would try to hold on and really sit down with the front office and really discuss what we need to do to keep Eichel and what to build around him. But I don't see him staying. He's wasting his career there. But then again, you look at every the NFL, NHL, the NBA, the MLB. You look at how many players are wasting their careers. Like, look at the Mets and DeGrom. DeGrom is having, in my opinion, one of the best pitching careers in the history of the MLB, and he's wasting in the Mets, even though they're fucking the shit out of it. Are they playing the Cubs tonight?
I have not looked at that, actually.
Hold on.
I've been too focused on the White Sox
they're playing
and Rays series.
They're playing the Cubs tonight. It's 6-3. I bet the Mets -1.5. But these a lot of players waste their careers there, but Buffalo just needs to make a move because, we've seen a lot of teams in the last place, and then, look at Florida. A couple years ago, Florida was absolute dog shit, right?
Yeah.
Now they were a playoff team. So it's hard. NHL is hard to talk about, but, I think Eichel will move, but in my opinion, if I was Buffalo, I'll try to keep Eichel because there's a lot of free agents right now that are good. There's a lot of good free agents we talked about. So I don't know what you think about this whole situation.
I think, yeah, you're right. I mean, they've had how many years to try to build around Eichel, and they have not done it. I think at this point, what you have to do is trade him. He wants to get a surgery as well. Can you imagine you, for your own personal physical health, need to have some kind of surgery, and just because you're under contract, the team won't let you? It's basically what he beat around the bush to say in that one press conference. And, I mean, if I was him, I'd want out. He's under contract. If you're the team, if he wants out, he's not going to play well for you. Get what you can for him. He's still a phenomenal player, surgery or no surgery. So wherever you send him is going to give you a lot in returns. It's just if Buffalo is willing to make the moves. And we've talked about their front office and how backwards they are. So who knows if that'll be even the case, but I digress. We'll move on from that because I know what everybody really wants to hear is our playoff predictions. Now, I know that playoffs are already 3 rounds in, so we're a little late with these predictions. However, I don't know if you were able to make a bracket or you had any kind of predictions going on. I'm going to pull up my bracket and let everybody know what I picked, but I'm going to go ahead and let you go and talk about who you may have had winning if they're out, or who you still have winning if they're in.
So I have it pulled up here. I didn't really have a bracket, but at the beginning of the season, the very beginning of the season, I placed a bet. I think I can tell you the exact date, but we can go on that later. I placed a bet on the Golden Knights win the Stanley Cup. I said, this is their year. This is it for them, because every year it's a smart bet. It's got them like plus 1,000 because Colorado, Tampa Bay were the favorites, and then Vegas was there. So I go, fuck it, that's great odds. But if I'm looking at the brackets, the only 2 teams that really had me were the Knights and Tampa Bay. Fucking Islanders and Montreal fucked everyone over. But really, the only team I had winning was Vegas or Tampa Bay, because when you look at the brackets, I knew Vegas would have to play Colorado coming up to the Stanley Cup, semifinals or the quarterfinals. And I was like, you know what, Vegas can beat them. Colorado is not that good on defense, and Vegas can shut them down. What they did, they won 4-2 against the favorites, 4-2. Oh, come on, right? And then you look at Tampa Bay. It's like you look at Carolina. they're not a playoff team. Tampa Bay is, so I'll take Tampa Bay. So the only two teams I had was Vegas and Tampa Bay, and Vegas leads the series 1-0, and then Tampa Bay Islanders are tied 1-1. But right now, it looks like Montreal might tie the series. After the first, it was 2-0. Yeah, still 2-0, just starting the second. But I think the finals, it's going to be Vegas against. I want to say Tampa Bay, but like sometimes I wish it was the Island. I love Tampa Bay. Love Tampa Bay. I love the players on there, but I kind of wish it was the Islanders. Just, New York gets really happy and then they lose. Did you see I was watching a video of Wiz, what he was saying? He's like, if fucking the Islanders win. Yeah, Wit, sorry. If I mixed
Wiz.
Wiz.
Yeah, you mix them together, but
because Biz is a big different. Islanders guy. And Wit was
he's jumping on their bandwagon now.
He was like, I don't know if you saw this. Wit was like, if the fucking Islanders win the Stanley Cup, I'll go work at a restaurant for 2 days straight. He said, I hope. He's like, Belliano's or something.
Borelli's. So Frankie Borelli is this huge Islanders fan that works for Barstool, and he's been on the Spit and Chicklets podcast a couple times. For those of you that don't know, hockey fans know the feud going on. So when the Bruins and Islanders were playing each other, they were doing these live streams from Borelli's, and it was so fun to see, guys like Grinelli and RA and Witt walk into Borelli's, who are mostly rooting for the Bruins, and they're kind of Bruins fans. Because they're from Boston, and then you got all these Islanders fans, and it's their home turf, and of course they want to. So they're they're videoing their reactions and stuff like that, and some of the things that was going on, it was just hilarious to watch these live streams. I didn't actually physically watch any of the live streams live, but I saw the highlights from them. It was so fun to see. I don't know. We'll get into the series in a little bit. I don't know how the Islanders won that. I mean, I had Bruins all day. But I should have had the Islanders. I should have had the Islanders in my Final Four because they made it last year. My predictions for the Cup, I made 3 brackets. I'll just kind of go through my best bracket going on right now. But I'll just tell you that my 3 champions were the Avs, the Lightning, and the Golden Knights. Now, obviously, you could see I'm trying to support the Lightning. I got nothing against the Golden Knights. I know a lot of people hate them just because they came into the league and were all of a sudden. That's how I fix it. I just got to lean forward, readjust the focus. I'm balling now. So I don't have anything against the Knights. I like them in the bracket too. My Knights bracket is actually my best bracket going on right now. In every single bracket, I had Toronto coming out of the North, and we're going to get to that in just a little bit. But I also had in these 2 brackets from the East, I had Pittsburgh in the Knights bracket, and in the Lightning bracket, I had Boston. So it would have been Pittsburgh, Toronto, or Boston, Toronto. Obviously, neither of those are correct. But that would have left Tampa Bay and Vegas to play each other. And obviously, I had Vegas coming out in the Vegas bracket. And then Tampa Bay and Colorado in the Lightning bracket, I definitely had Tampa Bay. My best bracket right now with 93 points, with 150 points remaining. That's the Knights one, actually. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at it. But I mean, for the most part, I'm with you. I had bets on all 3 of these teams that I had mentioned to win the Cup, and 2 of those bets are still out. I knew one of them was going to die when the Knights played the Colorado Avalanche. I knew one of my bets was going to be null and void, but I knew that going in. I knew they would, like you said, they would have to eventually play each other coming out of the West like that. I'm so happy we got that series and it wasn't Minnesota and Colorado.
I want to prove to everyone. I'm going to hide the amount I bet. Hold on. Where is it? Oh, fuck. Yeah, hold on. You can see. Can you see it? Okay, well, I'll just tell you. I bet the Vegas Golden Knights to win on February 16th. That was almost a month after the season started. I bet Vegas Golden Knights to win the Cup.
Yeah, but I think I put $5 on them as well.
I told everyone, bet the Knights. The Knights aren't losing.
Like 40. Yeah,
one of those teams. You never, ever take the favorite to win the Stanley Cup. You look at every year, the favorite never wins.
Who was the favorite this year? Was it the Lightning again?
No, it was the Avalanche.
It was the Avalanche. I took the favorite only because I was riding the Avalanche last year, and I was surprised when they lost to Dallas. They did have a lot of injuries, and they made some mistakes, and that was how Dallas squeaked
last
through.
year,
but then Dallas got hot,
I think last year the favorite might have been the Knights.
It might have been, yeah. I mean, those three teams are just so stacked that you figure they've got to be in the Final Four at least. They got to be in the conference finals, and then one of them's going to the Cup, and you have a good chance. And I actually have both my chances are alive. I agree with you that this Lightning and Islanders series, as a partial Tampa fan, scares me. But before we get into that, I want to just briefly talk about the first round. Nikita Kucherov came back from surgery. He had missed the entire regular season. People are bitching and moaning that now the Lightning are 17 million over the cap because they had him on long-term IR and were able to sign other people. The Hawks did this in 2015 when Kane was hurt and he came back for playoffs. But the argument is the Hawks were only about 3 or 4 mil over the cap. Hey, it's within the rules, and you can bitch and moan all you want, but I mean, would the Lightning team be very different if he didn't get the surgery and he was going to play with them? I mean, you knew he's a part of the team. You knew he was coming back for something. I mean, without the injury, you would have just. There's a moth flying on me right now, which is why I'm annoyed. You knew Kucherov is a threat, and he plays for Tampa. So I mean, surgery or no surgery, you would imagine he's going to play with them. He did all last playoffs. I mean, obviously, Stamkos was the one that was injured last year, and they still got the job done. So, I mean, I don't know how you can even really make the argument. I got to kill this dude. I'm sorry for all you animal lover or bug lovers out there. This dude's annoying me. I'm going to throw my shoe at him. I missed. I got one more shoe. So, hopefully, I don't miss this time. But, yeah, so Stamkos, Kucherov are back. I was going to ask the question, which rookie do we think would have the biggest impact? I think we've kind of seen that now. I want to say it's Kasperi Kotkaniemi from the Montreal Canadiens. I do think Kaprizov had a great playoff that ended very early. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Yeah, fly away. There we go. I do think Kaprizov really, I mean, he is the Wild team. He really rejuvenated them. He brought them a lot of energy, and he did great with them. He brought them to, there it is. He brought them to Game 7 against Vegas, and I almost thought we were going to see a Wild versus Avalanche second round, and I was kind of disappointed because with all the hard work that Vegas had done, I mean, they tied Avalanche for points this season, but head-to-head record, that's why they didn't win the President's Trophy. Which then you look at playoffs, and everybody says playoffs is a very different story. We'll get to the Avs Knights series. God damn it with this guy, dude! Stop flying! Stop! Just stop! Trying to fight Mother Nature out here. He was almost dead. But yeah, I mean, dude. He's dead now. Okay. All right, we're good.
Said Tom Wilson to Panarin.
I just Tom Wilson to Buchnevich this dude. He was just on the ground, and I just cross-checked him in the back of the head with my shoe. All right, so what rookie would you think had the biggest impact in these playoffs?
There's only one rookie who really I think did, and you're right. For Montreal, look at them. I'm looking at the 12th now. They went 4-3 over the Toronto Maple Leafs, right? And 4-3, 7 games. You won in 7 against a fucking playoff favorite, a first round favorite. You're putting up numbers. All right, I'll give you that. And then you go against Winnipeg and sweep them. And now you're going against Vegas and you're up 2-0, right? Well, you're down 1 game
in the game.
Nothing.
Yeah,
but
right.
Yeah, you're up 2-0. And let me see who scored for Montreal. Goals: Armia and Toffoli.
That's a Foley trade, man. I bet Vancouver wishes they had that one back because he helped them get far.
Vancouver wishes they had the Sedin brothers back. Okay, Vancouver wishes they had fucking Jesus on their side.
Well, last year Vancouver went to a Game 7 with the Knights in the West, and everybody thought Vancouver was going to be moving on, and They couldn't get the job done. They get rid of Toffoli, and not only did he kill them in the regular season with Montreal, but now he's killing it in the playoffs for Montreal. You know, I mean, like, man, if you could have one trade back, I bet Vancouver wants that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we can get into the North right now since we're on it. We covered one more thing in the West first round. The Avs played the Blues first round. That series did not go 7, like the Vegas and Wild series.
4.
That went 4. And the funny thing is Ryan O'Reilly had a quote before the series started, and he said, "We're going to have some fun and we're going to beat them." And that is exactly what he didn't do. So good job, Ryan O'Reilly. You were one of the worst teams coming into the playoffs, one of the worst playoff teams. You took the 4th spot, and you were facing the President's Trophy team, and we thought you were going to get a win. I would maybe not speak until you have a win under your belt, you know? Like,
exactly.
Don't count your chickens.
Exactly.
So
exactly. Like,
they're too removed from being Cup champions, and I don't think they realize
exactly.
that.
I think the Blues. Here's the thing. Real quick. Give me like a minute or two right here. The Blues this year might have been the most overrated and underrated team. It's weird as betting stands, because the Blues. I love the Blues in the sense of their team power. As a Chicago fan, fuck you, Blues.
Yeah, fuck the Blues. I hate the
But
Blues.
if you look at their roster, they're okay. Like, they got fucking players. But, like,
That's
you
true.
bet on them, they lose. You bet on them, they win. You don't bet, it's back and forth. Fuck the Blues even more, because they're so – I think they might – I might say this, which might be 100% wrong. I think the Blues might have been the most inconsistent team in the NHL.
That's very true. I think the only thing they were consistent at was scoring the empty netter goal when they pulled their goalie.
Yeah.
I mean, they had some outrageous stats of how many times they were able to convert. That was about it.
Yeah, exactly. I always remember I was bet on the Blues. I'm like, okay, I like the Blues as the underdog here because they can win. The Blues as an underdog? Shit, I haven't heard that in the past 5-6 years, right? The Blues have always been, Tarasenko, all those guys have been, Riley. Fuck, they've been fucking dogs. But this year, I'm sitting there, I'm watching, I'm looking at this game like, do I bet on it? The Blues have fucked me over so many times, and they're their underdog. They should win this game at home, and they lose 3-1.
Yeah.
So I think getting swept by the Avalanche really showed what kind of team they are. They're going to be in the next 2 years, and that's a fucking scrub team.
Yeah. Well, when they come back into the Central next year, I think they'll have an easier time with things, and they'll be a playoff team again. But it'll be like the North was this year. You'll have a team that really doesn't fit in with the other playoff teams and just got there by being in an easy division. Mm-hmm. And as I said, we're going to move over to the North. What the fuck happened? What is going on? So first you have the Edmonton Oilers, who have Connor McDavid, who are looking for redemption. They lost in 4 games in the play-in round when they were the home team and they had the home bubble last year. They lost to the Blackhawks, who the Blackhawks basically proved that they had better depth last year. McDavid is a phenomenal player. There's still the argument on if he is the best player in the NHL. You have Draisaitl, but there's no depth in that team. And it showed last year in the bubble, and it showed this year when you were the favorites. You took second place in the division. You absolutely cleaned up that division that entire year, other than Montreal, which is why you finished second. And then you get to the first round of the playoffs, and you're playing the Jets, who had a record-long losing streak going into the playoffs. They clinched playoffs by losing a game, and another team just also lost. That was how they clinched the playoffs. And you get swept by them? I mean, yes, people are going to make the arguments that, the Jets were super cold. That was just their time to get super hot. But honestly, when you have a player like McDavid, you got to shut them down. And not only do you not shut them down, you get swept. And I also want to mention, before I let you give your take, Game 4, the Oilers had a 3-goal lead on the Jets going into the third period. All you have to do is lock it down. All you got to do is play 20 minutes, not give up 3 goals. What did they do? They went 20 minutes. They gave up 3 goals. They go to overtime. I believe that game went to double overtime. So, I mean, both Oilers fans and Jets fans both the Oilers and the Jets gave their team, their fans a run for their money. I mean, they were probably shaking. One team saying, "Oh my God, are we going to score this OT goal and sweep?" I'm up till like 2 a.m. just praying that happens. The other set of fans are going, "Oh my God, I'm just praying we score the next goal so we don't get swept." That was crazy hockey, but you get swept? I don't understand. What was your take on this?
Confusion. Coming off last year, what happened to Edmonton last year? Go ahead, Mike. Tell me. Bless the fans with what happened. Bless them.
Blackhawks took it in 4 in the play-in round.
So, all I got to say about the whole my expert opinion.
Hey, we're both experts.
Yeah, Connor McDavid isn't cut up to be an NHL star. Everyone's talking about how good he is, the points he puts up. He's up there with Gretzky when he puts up numbers. Lemieux. He's not a playoff player. He's not good under pressure in the playoffs. Yeah. Like, okay, listen, like you're down 1 with 2 minutes left. Pressure. I think there's more pressure that goes into the first game of the playoffs, very first game, than a regular season game when you're down 1 going, overtime, right? Or even overtime in a regular season game versus the first game of the playoffs. There's more pressure in the playoffs. And I just don't think – I don't think it's his fault. I think everyone who watches hockey puts too much pressure on him, expects him to score, have 4 points a game where he just can't. So he's trying to show people that, he's McJesus in the playoffs and he just can't do it. I really don't know his numbers in the playoffs, but if I remember, they weren't good.
Yeah, no,
they weren't good. He
barely had any goals. He did end up scoring some goals, but when you come off of a season where you had, it's a 52 game season, and you have over 100 points. That's more than 2 points a game. And then you show up first game of the playoffs and you don't even have a single point. I'm pretty sure the first point he got was in game 2 and it was an assist. So it wasn't even a goal. I'm pretty sure he
watch that assist. It was nothing.
I think he did score in game 2, but he really didn't even come alive that entire series. You can make the argument he came alive in game 3, but by then you're down 2-0. You're not at home. You're playing these next 2 games on the road.
Exactly.
And at that point, when the Jets have a 2-0 lead on you and you're the juggernaut supposedly coming into this series, all the Jets are doing is thinking, okay, we have home ice now. Let's shut them down and let's get this sweep. Or at least let's get 1 and win in 5.
You look through all the podcasts, even Mike, even the other co-host, Mark, who's not here, RIP, I don't know what he's happening to him, but everyone I talk to, you can hear, I've never jumped on the Connor McDavid bandwagon because I didn't think he was all that. Like, I don't give a fuck if you're the best player in the regular season scoring 2 goals a game. All I care about is cups. You look at guys who win cups, that's all that matters. Like, was that Avalanche? Was that Joe Sakic? And was that Ray Bourque?
Yep.
When he finally won the cup. How good? But if he didn't win the cup that year, how good of a player was he? He was still a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I see your point there.
If he won the cup, it meant so much more to him. If you looked in his face, this is if I'm wrong, stop me. But you looked in his face. Joe Sakic knew. That's why when he picked up the cup, he said, "I'm not lifting it." He turned around, gave it to Ray. It means so much more to these players. As players, you and me, we're not that level, but like it means so much more to win a cup than have the best season of anyone's life. If you ask any guy in the NHL, would you rather have a season like Wayne Gretzky and his best season or win the cup this year? I guarantee it 9 times out of 10 guys will say win the cup. Well, and he tries to do it. He tries to win the cup, but I don't think the team allows him or the pressure or the people around him allows him to, because in his head, he's still a young guy. So he's like, I got to put up the numbers. I got to put these numbers to win the cup for my team because I'm the next Wayne Gretzky, because these people are putting this pressure on me, when in reality, dude, just go out there and play, and you guys will fucking you'll make the conference finals every year, guaranteed with your lineup.
Well, look at I think they pulled up the stat. Look at what before I talk about the stat. Look at what McKinnon said after the Avs got knocked out, and we're going to cover that. McKinnon said, "I've played in this league for 9 years and I haven't won shit." That was the exact quote. So these guys definitely are gunning for a cup. McKinnon, I mean, what I saw from him this playoffs, he's arguably faster than McDavid. He's arguably a better, smarter hockey player than McDavid. It's close. I mean, the argument has been made before between those two.
Yeah.
And after this playoffs, you can definitely see why. Because before, everybody was like, oh, McDavid, even me. And McKinnon was always just there. After McDavid being out first round, and you see McKinnon and what he's doing with the Avs and what he's doing against Vegas, you're like, okay, now they do bring up the point that McKinnon has more of a team behind him, and it is a team game, and I want to get to that. But before I do, they pulled the stat that Eichel, Matthews, McDavid, McKinnon, even throw in Landeskog, all these guys have been in the league for how many years now? Almost like 6 or 7 years, and they have not won a cup. The 5 of them, all combined, 0 cups. Then you look at somebody like Crosby, who had success early on. Yes, you were raising your hand.
I'm waiting till you're done, so that's what I just want to say. So go ahead, finish what you guys saying, then I gotta say something.
You compare them to Crosby, which is why I think Crosby is still the greatest. However, then, I mean, it's a team sport, so you can still make the argument that maybe Crosby had a better team built around him. Because I will say this, in McDavid's defense, he has absolutely nothing around him. He has Draisaitl, and that's about it. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. That's about it. That's about all he has. Whereas when you look at McKinnon, and the reason why people compare them, McKinnon plays with guys like Saad, Rantanen, Landeskog. He has a lot more built around him. When you go back to Crosby's early days, he had Malkin. I mean, those Pittsburgh teams, they only won the cup in 2009, but look at how they resurged in 2016, 2017. So it's a little bit, it's different. You're comparing apples and oranges, and it's hard to say who is the clear-cut best. I think McDavid has the potential to be, but it's a shithole in Edmonton. I don't think you trade him after this, but you have to say, you guys got one more year to figure this out. Otherwise, I'm leaving as McDavid. Yeah. Or if you're the organization, we've got one more year to figure this out. Otherwise, these guys are going to be off the payroll. We have to ship them out. We got to trade them for draft picks and start over. And nobody wants to trade a McDavid. But yeah, I'll let you take over.
All right, so I'm gonna go through this. Might be a little longer than I usually talk, but I'm gonna go through each Stanley Cup team in the past couple of years. So you look at Tampa Bay Lightning. Steven Stammy is hurt, right? Who's your star player?
Kucherov. Yep.
Hedman's star defenseman. You have Tyler Johnson. You have these dudes.
Braden Point.
Role players. They're role players. They're not in a million years would you build a team around these players, right?
Yeah, probably not. I mean,
there's not one. Even building. I'll be honest. Even
you can make the argument for Kucherov,
but even then, I wouldn't do it. You're
building around Stammer. Yeah,
I wouldn't do it because right. So number one, there's no play on that team. You build. Next team, the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Ryan O'Reilly, but
we don't talk about the Blues. Fuck O'Reilly.
Fuck the Blues. Yeah, right.
All we know is Rosie O'Reilly's.
Nah, right.
Next team, the Capitals. Ovechkin.
Yeah.
Oshie, I'm not building a team around Oshie.
No.
Ovechkin, even without Ovechkin, does that team make a playoff run? You could see it, but no. But still, those are a lot of role players.
Ovechkin is not somebody you build around. You just kind of let him do what he does.
No,
and
he
takes pay cuts in order to add players to what you need,
right?
As far as depth.
And then we go 20, and then 2017, 2016, you have the Penguins. Which is honestly, I think the 2016, 2017 is the perfect team. You have Crosby, right? One of the best players of all time. But you build around him with Malkin,
that's somebody you build
Letang, Fleury, and Murray. That was a team when you built around those guys, and those guys turned into stars.
The only team that I would compare to that Penguins team and say you build around a guy and you have all equally talented players that you've built up around him would be Tampa because of their depth. but they won the cup without the guy you would be building around last year, which is Stamkos.
So
this year could be a little bit different if they do go on to win the cup, and you could say, all right, yeah, that's a team that's kind of on par with those Crosby and the Penguins teams. But other than that, I mean, you can even make the argument that there isn't one specific guy on the Blackhawks that you build around either. I mean, you can say Kane.
Wait. I'm getting to it. Hold on. Right now, okay. I said our favorite team to talk about, and honestly, in my opinion, the greatest dynasty of all time, Chicago Blackhawks. You look at the best player on the Blackhawks wasn't Taves, it was Kane, and even Kane, he wasn't that McDavid star player. He was the assist guy. He was a playmaker. He can drop the puck if you want to, but he would, in his mind, he was more, let's make this play happen. Let's open it up. Let's get Shaw open, Bufflin at the point. Let's get these guys going here. Keith, Seabrook, let's get them going here. Panarin when they had Panarin. And,
right. Every time that they've tried to even build around Kane, we've not made it out of the first round.
So, Mike, I'm going to give you the floor.
Oh, my God, dude. There's a freaking moth. Another
Hit him.
Huge dude.
I'm going to give you the floor right here to talk about the 2015, the 2010, and the 2013 Hawks and that team and how it wasn't. Dude, there was no superstars.
There wasn't. I mean, that talent on the 2010 team, the depth on that team, I haven't seen depth like that until you have Tampa Bay now. 2013, there was depth there too. None of these years, though, are you building around specifically Kane. I mean, you have other stars in place. You're already a deep team to begin with. You have a core that isn't just two people like McDavid and Draisaitl. Even in 2015, I didn't expect that to be another cup, but they had enough depth with Kane getting hurt at the trade deadline, picking up some guys. But 2016 is when you first start to build around Kane, because now you've won 3 cups. You're really starting to lose guys because the cap's getting tight, and you gotta find some talent somewhere. That's when they get Panarin and they get Anisimov, and you have that unreal line, and they put up 1 million freaking points in 1 year. And that was the first time you had really seen them build around Kane. And I mean, you could argue that they put Taves with Kane early on, but after a while, those guys weren't playing on the same line. They talked about it in the 2013 and the 2015 playoffs is Chicago had so much depth because you got Taves on the first line and Kane on the second line. And those are 2 huge leaders that'll give you depth, and they don't have to play with each other to be successful. And that's not the case with Nugent Hopkins. That's not the case with Draisaitl and McDavid. So that gives you no depth. But now that they build around Kane with DeBrincat, guys like Suter, I'm trying to think of guys that they built around Kane. You could make the argument Strome too, because he's with DeBrincat. We haven't really had much success. There hasn't been much depth on the Blackhawks, and that's your biggest downfall, in my opinion, other than the defense and the goaltending. But
Montreal's all 3-0. They scored again.
Yikes!
Sorry,
dude.
I had to. Brian scored.
We'll move on from this point because I know we've stuck on it a while. Just what I didn't like though is Stephen A. I love Stephen A. Smith, like I've mentioned before on this podcast. I didn't appreciate him criticizing McDavid. Yes, was there criticism? Was there criticism to be had for not being the leader for that team? Yes. However, Stephen A. comes from a basketball background. A lot of basketball teams are 2-man teams. Hockey is not a 2-man sport. So he's seeing what he sees when he looks at the Oilers is McDavid and Draisaitl. Just like when you see the Golden State Warriors and you see Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry, or you see LeBron and I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know. Oh yeah. So I mean, he's seeing it as it's a 2-man sport and they could get the job done. That's not hockey. That's not the case. And for you to criticize McDavid that harshly, I know we just kind of did in the same light, but we're criticizing him for different reasons. We're not saying he needed to win that series because he's who he is. I'm just saying he needed to have a better series. I should have looked at it and saw that the Edmonton Oilers did not have the depth to get past a team in the playoffs, And that was really their downfall. It wasn't so much that it was all on McDavid. Yeah, he didn't perform. Yeah, he underperformed.
But it's not even McDavid. It's who you got. It's
you don't have anybody else.
4-0 to Winnipeg.
That's true.
I'm sorry, Jesse. Winnipeg's not it.
Not
but
Jesse Schultz.
4-0. You can't even pick up one
Jesse
game.
Bar down.
I get it. I'm not attacking McDavid. He should have been out. Of course, he should put up better numbers. But at the end of the day, I don't attack the player. I attack the team. Like I said at the beginning of the season, but I said like last year when I talk about Toronto losing, you gotta blow it up. I don't care if Matthews put up the greatest season ever. You lose the playoffs. No one gives a shit if you score 100 goals in the series. You still got fucking. You got fucked. You got fucked by fucking Montreal.
And let's go to that series right now. I mean, so
go ahead.
Just to recap, you have the Toronto Maple Leafs, who took the North by storm, as everybody expected. They have a much deeper core than Edmonton, so you're expecting them to go far and work wonders. They have a 3-1 lead on Montreal, another team who just barely squeaked into the playoffs. Montreal just got hot at the right time, and the Toronto Maple Leafs got cold and they took their foot off the gas. They let Montreal back into that series. When Montreal won Game 5, everybody's like, "Oh, okay, 3-2 series now. Like, hopefully the Toronto Maple Leafs can close it out." The minute that Montreal won Game 6 and that tied the series 3-3, I said it right there. I go, Toronto's losing. Toronto's losing. And a lot of other people said the same thing. It was, and I don't want Toronto to lose. I don't have anything really against Toronto. I want to see them succeed. I want to see the memes stop. But at that point, when they had blown 2 games in a row and we're going to a Game 7, at that point, part of me was just like, I want to see the memes continue. I want to see, this is a crushing blow to them. How many Game 7s have they lost? Even Game 5 is basically a Game 7 last year in the playoff rounds, in the play-in rounds, and they lost that to Columbus. I mean, how many times is this team going to do the same thing over and over and over again and just hit this wall, and then they're done? And I'll let you go into it. I'm gonna take a quick hiatus real quick, but let's talk about this series. What the hell happened?
The Toronto series?
Yeah.
I think Toronto's not a playoff team. Personally, I think Montreal. It's one of those classic cases of it's like any movie, right? You look at any sports movie where a team wants it more. You're playing the best team in the state. This team wants it more. And Montreal really came in and they wanted it more. It's one of the great examples of a team wanting it more and getting it. They came in, Toronto came in, and they thought, oh, we got Matthews, Marner, all these guys. Fuck you, Toronto. Montreal came in saying, listen, we can win this game because they did more research. I'll guarantee it. They watched film probably 3 times more than Toronto did. They knew Matthews' every secret. He's probably particular what's what I'm looking for? He's a predictable player. You gotta watch. Montreal probably watched so much film it hurt their eyes. They probably take 3 days off just to close their eyes. I think they went into the game knowing what's going to happen. After each game, watch film, came back, won. To win in 7 because I think honestly, it's like I said, every Disney movie ever when it comes to sports. Air Bud, fucking lost to a fucking dog.
You're comparing this to Air Bud right now.
I think Montreal literally wanted it more. Toronto thought they were going to win. That's why I think it's a stereotypical sports movie. Toronto thought they were going to win. They have Austin Matthews, one of the best score. Did he finish the best goal scorer?
Best goal scorer, 41 goals.
Best goal scorer. Marner, one of the fucking best scoring defender.
Because it was in the North Division.
Yeah, but it's different. I agree with you. North was shit, but still
to be able to
they
do that.
came in thinking, listen, Montreal, we fucked them up 7-2 last game, or whatever the fucking score was. We fucked them up each time we played them. Cakewalk. Montreal came in and said, listen, let's catch them on their toes. Let's play fast. Let's play hard. Let's play physical. And they did. They wanted it more, and they won in 7. And now look where they're at. They swept the Jets because they want this more, and they're winning 3-1 against Vegas because out of every team in the NHL right now, they want this as much as anyone. They want it. And I'm getting emotional because I love it. I love seeing them play because you can watch them, and they physically want it more than any team. They're playing as hard as they fucking can. These guys are fucking dying out there. So good on Montreal.
I do want to see Carey Price lift a cup. I don't want the Canadians to have a 25th cup. Yeah, I don't think they'll get it done this year. But like you were just saying, they want it more. The reason they want it more is because you have this guy backstopping you, standing on his head every night. Shout out to all you goalies out there, Luke Fava. We just had him on. And these guys stand on their heads. And somebody like Carey Price, you're like, how many more years has he got? People were already saying he was past his prime. And, you get this far. You beat who was expected to come out of the North Division in the Toronto Maple Leafs. Then you're going, okay, well, the Jets did the dirty work and beat the other tough team, supposedly, in the Edmonton Oilers. So now you just have to go against the Jets. Now, we can get into the Jets series. I know we haven't really covered the East and the Central first rounds just yet, but
can I say real quick?
Yeah.
You talk for the next 5 minutes. I gotta go pee so fast.
That's what I just did. I got you.
So talk about talk about the Montreal Jets series.
Yeah,
I'll cover that. Talk about that one? All right, go ahead.
Don't you worry, buddy. I got you. So yeah, that was where I was going to go. Even though we haven't gotten into second round yet anywhere else, this was crazy because you have the Jets who sweep the Edmonton Oilers and Connor McDavid. The other series goes 7 games, like we just mentioned. So if you're the Jets, you're sitting at home for an extra week. Yeah, you're practicing, obviously, but you're not getting that in-game physicality that you would when you're playing another team. You're obviously not going to get as physical with your own players. So the intensity isn't there. And I think that's really what killed the Jets in that second series. They come in cold against the Montreal Canadiens, who were just feeling it after you are down 3-1 to the predicted Stanley Cup contenders. And you're like, let's continue this winning streak. They win. In total, the Montreal Canadiens win 7 in a row. The 3 against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then they sweep the Jets. Now, the biggest thing in the Jets series that we have to cover, the Mark Scheifele hit on Evans. Evans is coming behind the net to put in the empty netter. Scheifele did not even make an attempt to play at the puck. Jesus, these lights and these bugs. There we go. Sorry, everybody. If you're listening, sorry. You don't understand what's going on, but my lighting's not great out here. I tried to be in front of the batting cage that I built in my backyard just because it was a beautiful day out, and now it got dark, and I didn't think the lighting would be as bad as it is. Now I'm Casper the Ghost again. All good. Fine. Not mad. Just really mad. Anyways. So Jets come in cold against Montreal. Montreal rides that fire that they got from the series previously. And now they have to play for something else. Not just for, Carey Price, not just for the fact that you want to say, oh, we beat the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now we're the top team. Now they have to play for Jake Evans, who has had head injuries before in the past. Definitely got a concussion from that hit. Scheifele made no attempt to play the puck. His hand was not, both hands weren't even on the stick. It was definitely a play where the gray area of this play is Scheifele has to come back on that. Has to be at full speed because you want to prevent the goal. However, he made no attempt at the puck. He definitely could have saved that goal from going in, but instead, in his frustration, he went straight for Jake Evans' head. This gave him a 4-game suspension. And that's going to carry over into next year because they got swept. So that was game 1 that he laid that hit. They play 3 more games, lose them all. And that was just a huge turning point in the series. I mean, at that point, you're thinking, okay, Montreal, yeah, they knocked off Toronto, but can they do this again against the Jets, who, as bad as the Jets have looked, they look like a juggernaut now coming out of the North. And they've been to the conference finals before in recent years against Vegas in 2018. So you're thinking, all right, yeah, Winnipeg wants to be back here, but Jake Evans gets hit. and that just lights a spark underneath the Canadians, and now they want to just fight for him, fight for Carey Price, fight to prove that they belong, and that's exactly what they do. And the Jets, you can argue that because they were without Mark Scheifele is why they couldn't really find it in that series. I think they just got outcoached, outplayed, outworked. They just looked sluggish out there, and with all the media circulating about the Scheifele suspension and the hit, I think that added to the, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And there you have it. Now you have the Canadians in the conference finals, which who predicted that? Maybe Canadians fans that were all gun and go for their own team. But anybody else see Montreal making it this far? Yes, they had a great season last year. In the play-in round, they knocked out the Penguins, but everybody knew they were losing that next series. Everybody knew that it wasn't going to go very far for them. I believe they played Philly. But yeah, I mean,
who?
The Canadians last year.
Oh, last I thought about this. I'm like,
wait. They knocked out the Penguins in that play-in round, which was surprising to everybody. But Carey Price stood on his head there too.
He always does, doesn't he?
Here we are. One more thing I wanted to talk about, which happened recently, is you have your 41. This is why I hate ESPN. I hate ESPN. And if they ever try to hire me one day.
And this is why you listen to Talking Pylons and not ESPN ever.
Right. I just killed my chances of being hired. But you know what? I don't want to be hired by them. I want to be a hockey broadcaster. I want to be a hockey analyst. But do I want to be it for ESPN? Not really. I mean, there's a bunch of, unless they change how they are and they change their ways. Prove me wrong. They take a picture of Justin Bieber and Austin Matthews walking into, and I believe the goaltender for the Toronto Maple Leafs this year was walking with them. What's his name?
No one.
No. He had 11 saves in a row. Was it? It wasn't Anderson, because that's their main goalie. Frederick Anderson. Shoot, I forget the guy's name. I'm gonna shoot myself for that. No, not Pat Foley. Ooh, got him. But they take a picture of these three entering. I guess it was the Jake Paul fight or whatever fight happened this weekend or whatever. We'll call it the Mayweather fight. It's not the Jake Paul fight, but anyways. And ESPN reports that Justin Bieber was there. The best scorer from this past year in the NHL is standing right next to him. You have the rights to hockey games now, and you make no mention of Austin freaking Matthews. As much as we criticize him for losing that round and breaking the hearts of Leafs fans everywhere once again, he's still Austin freaking Matthews. And you made no mention of him. You only mentioned Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber doesn't even play like he's not like, yeah, I know he goes out there and he skates and he probably plays basketball, but he's a singer. He's a celebrity. He's not an athlete. I could probably dangle the crap out of him in hockey. Have you seen his skills? No thanks. I've never even played organized hockey. Get the hell out of here. Dude thought he was going to score a goal on Jordan Binnington. Yeah. Okay, cool, bud. Yeah, you're so good, dude. He's ass. And that's who you highlight, and your ESPN. I just couldn't. I know this made a lot of people mad. They covered it on Spit and Chicklets, so I don't want to dwell on it for too long. I also don't want to dwell on the North too long because we talked about it enough. We're going to get more into it when we talk about Montreal being in these conference finals. But let's get over to the East and the Central. Battle of Florida. I wish Levesque was here to talk about it. I'm just going to go over it real quick. Braden Point scored some amazing goals. Quenneville did what he could as a coach. Well-fought series. Battle of Florida was very entertaining. We've been waiting 20 years for that to happen. And I was worried as somebody who was rooting for the Lightning. I kind of wanted to see Florida come out of there as well because, of Quenneville, guys like Barkov, you definitely want to see them in the playoffs, Huberdeau and stuff like that. But, and of course, Spencer Knight. I think they just mismanaged their goalies. I think they looked at the what they were paying guys too much and not looking enough at how guys were performing. You had Bobrovsky, who was underperforming but getting paid $11 million, and you had Spencer Knight, who was coming. There. Yeah, you had Spencer Knight coming in. He made his debut this year, won the World Juniors with Team USA, and he was arguably the better goalie. Bobrovsky did not have it. Maybe Tampa was just figuring him out. But they didn't go to Spencer Knight enough in this series, I thought. Dreger was there too, but not really. And that's why Tampa walks away with this one in 6. They gave them a run for their money. And with how good and how deep of a team Tampa is, it's a really hard first-round matchup. It sucks for Florida. I think if they were playing almost anybody else, they would have been out the first round. Holy cow.
All right, I'll read.
Yeah, I did see
5
that. Yeah.
Islanders series wins since Troit's joined the team. 0 Capitals series wins since Troit's left the team.
We could go over to the East right now and talk about that. So Capitals have Zdeno Chara, who was a Boston Bruin for many years, was the captain of the Boston Bruins for many years. Everybody was thinking Zdeno Chara is on his revenge tour. Tom Wilson scores the very first goal of the playoffs. Fuck you, Tom Wilson. So glad you're out. Boston beat them in 5. I believe was the Capitals win the first game and then Boston won 4 straight.
Real quick. Sorry, I'm going through the NHL stuff right now. Did Mark Stone really say this? He said it will be like playing an AHL team, 4 easy wins. Mark Stone facing the Montreal Canadiens in round 3.
I did not see that, but if he did, that's like Ryan O'Reilly.
But then again, it's Instagram hockey trend. So I don't know if he said that.
Send that over to me if you can. Yeah, I did not see that quote. Wow. If that quote's real, hopefully we could get some confirmation on it very soon. This looks real.
It does. I don't know if he said that because they're losing. Well, they just scored, so it's 3-1 right now.
Oh, dude. Look at that picture closely. He said, it will be like playing an AHL team, 4 easy wins. Mark Stone on facing the Montreal Canadiens in round 3.
And probably.
In quotes, it says probably.
Oh, I can't see that small.
He didn't actually say that. Because I looked at the comments and they were like, look closely.
Fuck, they got me.
I cheated. They did. They almost had me too. I'll join in there and say they almost got me. Dude, I'm about to kill my 3rd moth of the night. No, he moved. Oh, got him, dude. Dead. I'm just a killer out here. Stone cold.
Wait, look at the post I just sent you. I'm fucking dying.
Oh my god, yeah, the old cup when it used to just be like the same level rings going down.
Why can't they go back to that? That's fucking sick.
Looks so goofy, dude. Looks like something that's probably not PG for this podcast. Maybe something a woman would buy. Anyways, so Caps are out. Good. Tom Wilson, pack your bags. Go fuck yourself. Florida's out. We covered that. The only thing that's left, Nashville, Carolina. I wasn't thrilled about this series because I knew going in that Carolina was going to take this one. I figured they'd take it in 4 or 5. They let Nashville win both in Nashville and go to 6. It was 2-2. It was 2-0 Carolina, and then all of a sudden it was 2-2. And I was like, what is going on here? How is Nashville winning games? But of course, Carolina takes it. The funniest thing out of that series was Nashville blocked Carolina on Twitter, like the actual NHL team accounts, like Nashville blocked the Hurricanes. And then the Hurricanes tweeted out a picture of it that said they were blocked. And they put a country quote above it. And they were like, we got friends in low places. That was pure. That was gold. Carolina has one of the best social medias.
They stay on that.
And we'll go into social medias. So the Islanders beat your Penguins. I don't know if you want to talk too much about this. We don't have to dwell on it. The Penguins I should have known that the Islanders were kind of a sleeper team with how far they got last year. The Penguins took the division and they were on fire, but they had struggles during the season and it showed during playoffs and they just couldn't get the job done. I think they stay intact for next year. I don't think there's much news to cover here, but going into round 2, social media coverage was popping. We talked about the Borelli live streams, and then Hurricanes was the bar outside of Boston that they streamed for all the Boston games. that was just a fun series to watch. As much as I don't like either of those teams, I dislike the Bruins because I'm a Hawks fan, of course. And I dislike the Islanders because of what their fans did when Tavares left, and most of them are scumbags. I've always, before that, liked the Islanders, and I wanted them to have success because they had no success for a very long time, and they kind of get treated like the stepchild of the city compared to the Rangers, who underperform. And I know what that's like when, you have the Cubs on one side of town who underperform. Sorry, Mark, I know you're a Cubs fan, but you go 108 years of losing and you're still the favored team, whereas the White Sox kind of just get shit on. So I feel for you Islanders fans, but you got to stop burning jerseys on a guy who you think let your team down. He didn't. But that second round, Boston and the Islanders, huge series that got covered. It felt like it lasted a month. The Islanders took game one. That was really the Boston Bruins' downfall because it was such a close game that they needed to win. Boston took a 2-1 lead in the series, and then the Islanders responded by winning 2 themselves. So then it was 3-2, and at that point...
I just spilled half my drink on my fucking computer.
Oh, my God. Dude. At that point, I'm just going to keep covering these series pretty quickly. At that point, that series was basically over. I thought, I wasn't watching it very closely. I thought that they would go 7. I thought Boston would make some kind of a comeback, but not when you're in the building for the Islanders, which I don't even know where they were playing because they have so many freaking stadiums that are all shitty apparently. But they just had the home crowd behind them, and that it was it. They had it locked up. They had to play one more period of 20 minutes of hockey with a lead, with a 3-1 lead. That last game, it was like 44 shots to 11 shots. The Islanders had 11 shots, but 4 goals, and the Bruins had like 44 shots and only 1 goal. So Sorokin stood on his head. I believe that was who was in for that final game. If it was Varlamov, I apologize. I wasn't following that closely. I was only looking at the score line, and my jaw was on the floor with how many shots the Bruins had and still fewer goals. It was ridiculous. So that was a cool second round matchup. Bolts and Canes. This one, as hot as the Hurricanes were first for the entire playoffs, and then with kind of first round, I thought they struggled with Nashville, and I wasn't as worried as a Lightning fan going into this. Fan in air quotes for anybody listening, because the Lightning had played a much tougher team, I thought, in Florida than the Canes were at that point after almost letting Nashville beat them in the first round. So I wasn't very worried. Of course, Tampa takes this series in 5. It was over quicker than I thought, to be honest. I thought the Canes would find that spark and come back a little bit more. But when you're down 2-0 to the defending champs, you give up both games at home, and then you go on the road to Tampa. They did win 1 in Tampa. They won game 3 and made it a 2-1 series, but you can't expect Tampa to lose both at home and you to tie this series up. And that was really where their downfall was. Then you're down 3-1, and unless your name's the Montreal Canadiens and they're the Toronto Maple Leafs, you're not coming back out of that one. So Bolts take that one in 5. We covered now all the second rounds except for Knights versus Avs. Now, Knights versus Avs, I watched the first game. Oh, my God. I feel so bad for Leonard. He got thrown in there cold. He hadn't played since, like, early on in May, and you're talking he's got to play in June or end of May. Like, that was a poor decision by coaching. I understand you wanted to give Fleury a rest. That was bad, though. 8-1, I believe, was the final, or it was 7-1. Don't quote me. It's been a while. My brain's mush. We like I said, we've been getting ready for this big SHL game. So I've been focusing more on that than the actual NHL playoffs. And everybody thought right then and there the Avs were just too good of a team, and they were going to walk away with the series. That was a bug on me. Yes. Gross. But I knew the Knights would respond. I just didn't know that they would respond that quickly. Game 2, the Knights lost as well, but they were the much better team, and they took them to overtime. It was not a blowout again. So you're thinking, okay, the Avs got a 2-0 lead. Now they're going to Vegas. Vegas's crowd is what won them that series. Of course, you could say Marc-Andre Fleury and William Karlsson and Mark Stone and all those guys. Oh, how about Janmark, who the Hawks got rid of, who is now overperforming with the Knights, of course. Just our luck. But I didn't think that Vegas would win the next, what was it, 3 games? I think they won in a row. They took a lead. No, it had to have been because it was a 2-0 lead, 4 in a row. I'm sorry. They won the next 4 in a row. What am I talking about? It was 2-0 Avalanche, and then they just didn't show up for the next 4 games. And their coach tried to light a fire underneath them, saying that they needed to play better, and it didn't work. It made them stoop down below a Vegas level. And this is a team we're talking about, especially Lake Tahoe. They beat the Knights all year long. They had the Knights number. As close as these two were in the standings, and by close, I mean they finished with the same points. Like we mentioned before, Vegas was below them. They didn't win the President's Trophy because of head-to-head play. And then it just goes to show that playoffs are a different story. So Knights move on, and we have, as expected, the Golden Knights, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Some people expected the Islanders. I should have expected the Islanders because of how well they played in the playoffs last year. 3 of these 4 teams are the teams that were in the Final Four last year. The Tampa Bay Lightning, the New York Islanders, they're rematching each other. Vegas was in the conference finals for the West last year. The only team that isn't here is Dallas because they didn't make the playoffs. However, Corey Perry was on Dallas, and now he's on the Montreal Canadiens, who nobody saw getting this far. So, Mark, I've been talking way too long. I'll jump it over to you to talk about the Final Four. Go to whichever series you want to talk about.
Final Four.
Oh, wait, dude, hold on. Your audio is really bad. Is it because you spilled?
Is it really?
Oh, there you go.
Am I good?
Oh, thank God, dude.
It's fucking opening iTunes.
Clutch, dude. That's a clutch play. That's a Hail Mary right there. Go ahead.
Okay. 4. Everything was open on my fucking laptop. Okay, so go Islanders, Tampa Bay. The only reason Islanders have make it this far because they have one of the deepest benches. They're deep, right? They can play hockey on each line, all 4 lines, all 3 defensive lines. And honestly, I think Tampa Bay will win 4-2. That's my prediction. 4-2. Tampa Bay takes it. If Islanders win, will I be mad? A little bit because I like Tampa Bay, but at the same time, not really mad because fuck it, Islanders can go, but I don't think they will. That's not a lot of talk there. And then Vegas, Habs. I mean, come on, they're up 1-0 already, and then Montreal's up 3-1, but I think Vegas will take it 4-1, 4-2. I think, in my opinion, it'll be a Vegas Tampa Bay final, and I think Vegas will take it over Tampa Bay. That's just I don't go into deep about it, but I think that's how it'll go. But
I would have to kind of agree with you, although I do want Tampa to go back to back, but Vegas is a beast. I wouldn't mind seeing them win. That would be a fun final because I would like both teams that are in it. I really wouldn't mind who wins. It scares me, though, that the Cup final could be the exact opposite, Islanders and Montreal. That's the beauty of – that would be the lowest watched final, and they've covered that on Spit and Chicklets and every other podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Who the hell would care about those 2 teams? Although I could see it, and that's the beauty of the Stanley Cup playoffs is any team can make it on any day. The reason why I could see those teams making it is because the Islanders were here last year. They lost to Tampa. They want that. They want to be able to finally get to the Cup and win. They want to do it for their fans. They have fuel behind them right now. They're good at shutting teams down. I would argue with you and say that Tampa's depth is better than the Islanders. I know you went into the Islanders' depth, but we didn't really go into Tampa's depth. I think
I didn't say it was
thing.
Yeah, I said the only reason the Islanders made it as far as because you look at the teams they played, it's deeper, but right. Tampa Bay's depth is unreal.
You did have the Tampa in 6, so obviously the depth's got to be better than the other teams in order to do that. Montreal, they're playing for Jake Evans. They're playing for Carey Price. How many more years does Carey Price have? That would, to me, say, all right, Cole Caulfield and we didn't even mention him when we were talking about rookies, but Cole Caulfield and Kasperi Kotkaniemi are going to play out of their minds. And Shea Weber's there, and I don't want to leave anybody out. Corey the Rat Perry, they're going to play out of their minds because they want this very badly. Can they get through the Vegas juggernaut though? That'll be the question. If they can get through the Vegas juggernaut though, I think they could beat anybody in the finals. But will the Cinderella story end? I don't know. Vegas did in 2018, so the playoffs are not. They're kind of unforgiving at certain points, and Vegas is here once again. And I do think I agree with you. I do think they will move on from this series. I think it'll be closer than most people expect. Definitely from that quote. That wasn't really a quote. And then I don't know, man. I personally, just because I like Tampa more. I want to say Tampa's coming out of there, and they're the much deeper team. They haven't lost a step since last year. In fact, they gained a step because now they have both Stamkos and Kucherov. However, the Islanders are really good at shutting top teams down. I mean, they did it with Boston. They did it with, you could argue the Penguins, even though, they're not as in their prime as Stamkos and
Boston
Kucherov.
Boston knows a big one. I thought Boston would make a run for the Stanley Cup, but the Islanders showed up.
I know Tuukka Rask was hurt, but at the end of the day,
Still.
even though all these Boston fans were making the argument, why didn't they put in Swayman, go with the youth who's not injured, and he was playing arguably just as well.
That?
Yeah, you can, and you give Rask a rest if he's injured, but it wasn't going to help you beat the Islanders. I don't think personally. I think the Islanders. I think you just got out coached. I think you got outworked. I think the Islanders just shut them down, and that's the tale. So that's our NHL news. Do you have any more to add just before you want to jump out of here?
Not really. We have the Final Four. It's gonna be fun till we get to the Stanley Cup. I think, honestly, our podcast comes out every week. We try to, but I think we really don't talk till the Stanley Cup comes up and make our predictions. But I think it'll be Vegas versus Tampa Bay. But if you want my expert opinion, I think Vegas versus Islanders. I think Vegas will make it, but I think Tampa Bay will make it. But I think Vegas could out hockey Tampa Bay, honestly, just for my picks. But then again, it'll be cool to see Stanley get his first real Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
because last year didn't count for him.
Right. So, real quick, before we jump into our next points, I just want to let everybody know that Talking Pylons is brought to you by Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor yet, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Best of all, it's free to use and allows you to record your episodes right from your phone, tablet, or laptop. And the end result is that your podcast can then be heard on platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. I learned that people like to listen to stuff on, is it Google Podcasts? There's a third one in there that I don't really. I always just use Apple Podcasts because I have an iPhone, but I guess people prefer Spotify for music rather than Apple Music, which I'm not in that majority. And then they prefer, is it Google Casts or something like that for podcasts? I don't know. I've just been looking at our podcast numbers, and we have a lot of listeners on multiple different platforms, which is great. We love you guys. We here at Talking Pylons have been using Anchor for a while now, and we're in love with how easy it makes our jobs. And if your podcast grows enough in popularity, you can even start making a profit. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Quick little ad read. We will not have a Slam Vintage ad this week because Mark Levesque is not with us. And we will also not have a Rosie O'Reilly's ad this week. However, I know we've been away for a while. You fans have missed us. I want to let you guys know, and I will be posting this on social media. We will be doing a live Instagram live podcast from Rosie O'Reilly's. I'm going to see if we can set it up on the YouTube live, but I'm much more familiar with Instagram live. We're going to be doing one from Rosie O'Reilly's on Friday night. I don't have a specific time yet, but you will get a notification from me. What do we think? Maybe like 7, 8, maybe? I don't know.
I'll say about like 7:42.
7:42. You heard it here first. We're actually going to go with that number if we can. 7:42. I'm not playing hockey this Friday night, so I will be at Rosie's early in order to do this. Come on out. I can't guarantee you guys will be in the podcast. I don't know where we'll be shooting it yet, but come on out and have a drink with the boys. We're going to try to get a bunch of the guys playing in the SHL game. We want to throw 2 episodes in this week because we've been gone for so long. There were a couple of interviews that we were trying to bank that we just couldn't. You're going to get to see these guys play in the game though, and we will interview them after the game. We're going to interview possibly Marco Gomez Friday night for the Stanley Cup preview. We're going to get into everything you need to know about this SHL game. If you guys have questions, I'm going to post this too. There will be a Q&A portion of that podcast. We want to see you on Instagram. We want to hear your questions. What do you want to ask us? You can ask us NHL, SHL. It's mostly going to be an SHL podcast, and I'm sure people have way more questions on the SHL because we're not as big of a league. But if you've been following this podcast, you kind of know what's going on. June 26th, as I mentioned before, 8 p.m., Dirksen, Timbercrest Park. So we're going to save all of our SHL stuff for Friday night. You're going to get 2 episodes in 1 week. And we'll be live from Rosie O'Reilly. So get on over there. North 131 North Wheaton Avenue.
It's across from the Cosley Zoo off Gary. Just go.
Yeah, Gary Avenue. Yeah, sorry.
If you really can't find Rosie O'Reilly's, Google you fucking people.
North 131 Gary Avenue in Wheaton. So get on over there. Come see us Friday night. We'll probably be there all night. Who knows? And that is where we will get all of that. Now, before we do end this podcast, do you have any hitting the mark, or do you want to save that for Friday?
I can give you some hitting the mark. Let me pull up my phone here.
All right, we got some picks. I know we've run long tonight, guys, but bear with us. We had a lot of NHL we had to catch up on. But we're not an NHL podcast, like I said. We're just
it's hard. I mean, if we look at just the NHL, I don't want to get to the MLB, but just NHL. Take the next games, even though Vegas is losing right now. Take Vegas winning next game. 100% Vegas winning next game. No matter what the money line is, maybe it's like plus minus 200. Doesn't matter. Take it. And even I'll take the under and the Vegas minus 1.5. And next game, I'm taking. This is the hard one. This is not a lock for me. The other ones are locks. I'm taking Tampa Bay to win. Fucking Islanders up the ass, but give me Tampa Bay and Vegas to win the next 2 games. If you want to parlay those two, parlay those two. I put $10 on it, get plus 200 odds, triple your money. You'll be fine. Take Vegas and Tampa Bay. Always take the favorites now, always, because of it. My opinion, to be 4-2 each series, or to be 4-2 Islanders are gonna lose. So Tampa Bay 4-2, and then 4-1 Vegas is gonna win. So you take the favorites each game, parlay those, you'll be fine. You'll be golden. Vegas, Tampa Bay final, Vegas winning. But we'll talk about that when it happens. But that's all I got.
Absolutely.
But like I always say, if you want more picks on MLB, NBA, NHL, message me personally. I'll give you, props, stuff like that, over-unders. Just message me personally, and then, I'll tell you why I pick what, and we can get into some big money picks. But
speaking of MLB, White Sox won in 10 innings today.
Don't even talk about it.
Best record.
Don't even talk about it. Almost gave me a fucking heart attack. That was my lock for the day. They were up 7-3, and next thing I was fucking top of the 10th. I go, what
almost
the fuck
blew
is
the
this
game.
for? I'm like, what the fuck is this for leaving pitching? Holy shit! I'm like, fucking
well, there was
an
error. There was an error. Almost blew the game, but
that's even worse.
I went to the game last night and I wore a Tampa Bay Rays hat, but everything else was White Sox, and people were calling me Switzerland because they were like, "You just want to see a good game here. You don't really care who wins, do you?" And I was like, "No, but I would prefer the White Sox to win this game, and then obviously the 110 game today in order to take the series and take the best record in baseball, and that's what we did." By the skin of our teeth, because we almost blew the game. But 10th inning, Yasmani Grandal to the moon. That's where we're going.
Even White more Sox. Important, fuck the Sox. Let's talk about the Cubs. World Series champs? Let's talk about the Cubs.
Look at this.
Mike, let's talk about the Cubs.
Jeez, that's going to be...
Who took...
June 26th, baby. That's going to be what's in your face.
Okay, pull up the clip of you hitting me and you falling. Go ahead.
No, I don't want to do
I
that.
know. But let's talk about the Cubs. Let's talk about the Cubs.
This one's probably bigger.
Who bet the
for
Mets?
Certain reasons.
Who bet the Mets? I'm a Cubs fan, 100% until the day I die. Right? Fuck the Sox, Cubs all the way. Who bet the Mets -1.5? Right? Who bet against the Cubs to lose by 2, and what they lose by today? 3. Who's cashing out on the Cubs? This guy.
You're
bet on the Sox to win. Bet on the Cubs to lose. Listen.
Hey, but they're both first place teams.
Well, first of all, I don't care if they fucking win or lose. As a sports gambler, you learn, fuck your favorite team. Let's just win some fucking money. Because what's more important, winning money or your favorite team winning? You don't answer that. Favorite team winning. Let's get this money.
Okay, that's what we about to get on June 26th. One more note I will make about June 26th, and I will be saying it again when we cover SHL stuff. Guys, bring cash out. Of course, the game is free to watch, but we have a charity that I will be announcing after the game that we are donating to. And in addition, if you're among the first so many people to get pucks, we have 60 foam pucks. We're going to be doing.
So strip club.
We're going to be doing Chuck-a-Puck. If you don't know what Chuck-a-Puck is you buy.
It means you can chuck my puck.
Woof. Yikes! Save that for the bedroom. You can throw a puck out onto the rink after the game. We will have targets set up for you to try to make it and win some prizes. The money will be going to a charity, like I said, that I will be naming later. So we haven't set prices on the pucks yet, but come on out, support. We can't take any kind of digital, so no credit cards or anything. I know we did for our Voodoo on Vassar haunted house. We won't be set up to have the capability for that. So bring cash. I'm going to remind everybody on Friday as well. I promise you guys it's a great charity. You'll see the reason why I'm keeping it secret until after the game. But I promise you those funds are going to a great cause. We would not be scamming people like that or just, throwing money away. So come on out, guys, support. That's about everything I got. Anything else from you there, son?
No.
I mean, Dad? I don't know why I'm flashing from
move fast.
Casper the Ghost to whatever. So,
well, my laptop didn't break.
Yeah, with this face on it, my laptop will probably be shattered in a couple of weeks.
Half my drink on it.
Dude, but if I show the flow, it's too dark for the flow. But oh god, dude, oh my god, dude. Oh, dude, that's sexy. All right, well, if we got nothing else, thanks for everybody for watching. We will see you guys probably in a day if you're watching this on Thursday. And we'll be back in action.
Fuck you, everyone.
See you guys. Have a great whatever.